Just got back from watching Alien Romulus in the theaters. I thought I'll do a quick reaction video to that. So here's what I thought about Alien Romulus. At the outset, let me just acknowledge the fact that I enjoyed this one a lot more than I enjoyed the previous two outings, Prometheus and Alien Covenant. So that's a definite +1 in the books for Alien Romulus. For those of you who do not know about this franchise, which is slightly hard to believe, but then again, if you don't, the original franchise is something of an icon in cinema history. Sigourney Weaver was the main protagonist playing Ripley, and she is possibly one of the most badass main characters. I'm not even saying badass female characters, I'm saying badass main characters. That's how killer she was. To explain the franchise in one line is about a group of people who encounter this alien species and then they are running for their lives, trying to figure out a way to get away or to kill the creature. That's largely what it is, but it is so enjoyable. At least for me personally, I've enjoyed almost every outing. Even its mutation into Alien versus Predator and that storyline, something that I enjoyed. So I'm a sucker for Alien and Predator films, but it is genuinely better than the last two outings, like I already said. The film begins almost using a poetic way to take you into this world. It's a blank space. You can only see stars, and then there is a spacecraft that comes into the view. Eventually, the camera follows the spacecraft and a rock gets into a lab where it's cut open. Camera moves. Under the lid, you see a outline of you know who. Right then, background score kicks in and you know that you are in for all the shit that you came here to see. The film is set in a dystopian world where the large part of the population is living under the thumb of the Wylan Yutani Corporation. The film follows the story of a group of youngsters. Some of them have already lost their parents to mining accidents as well as health problems related to mining. Hence, they want to just leave this planet, but the corporation doesn't allow that to happen. So they realize that there is an unmanned spacecraft of the Wylan Yutani Corporation that's just floating above them in space somewhere, and nobody's really paying attention to it. So they take a small aircraft and go to that space station because they've been able to figure out that there are enough cryopods in that facility there and they can leave this planet and move to another planet. A simple enough plan, but little do they know that that space station has been deserted for a reason. For a lot of people who are fans of the original franchise, I'm not sure if they will take homage to be as that. It's a very thin line between paying homage to the original franchise versus borrowing a scene or borrowing a moment from that, because this one, Alien Romulus, does so many of those homages, and there are so many dialogues and moments that are recreated here that some people might just get offended. I enjoyed it. I spotted a few of those. I'm sure the hardcore fans of the original franchise are gonna spot a lot more. Characters that really stand out are Andy and Rain. I know that Rain is emulated as a young Ripley. Did not have a problem in those moments that are recreated in trying to showcase Rain as much of a badass as Ripley was. So I really enjoyed her screen presence. There was just enough depth in character that I was invested in what's gonna happen to Rain and to Andy. So though that was the big difference from Prometheus and Covenant, that I didn't really feel for characters in those two films, and that's why it didn't really matter what was happening. The background score and the camera work are top notch, and there are just the right amount of creepy moments that will keep you on the edge. Apart from that, I think there is one scene in this film that is going to go down as one of my favorite scenes for a really long time. There is a anti-gravity scene where Rain starts shooting up aliens, and that scene, the way it's written and the way it's executed is beautiful. Starts off with there being no gravity to eventually where suddenly gravity comes back. Those two scenarios are taken up and put on screen with such panache and such meticulous execution. Overall, there is enough and more to keep you hooked, to keep you engaged. If you enjoy these kind of films, I think you're gonna enjoy this one for sure. I had a lot of fun. Let me know what you thought of the scene that I spoke of and any other scenes that you loved. I'd be happy to have a chat and discuss.